I lost my job over a TikTok that I posted yesterday.
I've never been fired in my life. I was fired from my last job because of my TikTok shop. I need your help.
2 nurses posted on TikTok. One lost their job. One reportedly lost their license.
Guys, I got fired yesterday. So I wasn't actually going to talk about this, but I really just don't care anymore.
Did you guys see this video of this substitute teacher being fired? So if you guys did not know, this substitute teacher was fired today. Now, the first couple of red flags I noticed was her calling herself one of the students or mentioning that she looks like a student. The second red flag was she was calling a student shorty. I'm sorry, what? Saying sheesh while the camera is on children. And then she accused children, minors, of trying to take her down. Now, we all know what take down really means. It is very concerning when an adult talks like that about children. And of course, in her recent video, she's taking zero accountability, clearly not understanding why she was let go from her job. I just find it really odd that these days teachers are trying to impress the children with their looks instead of with their smarts. You can also be a cool teacher without being inappropriate.
Y'all, I was getting ready to advertise this blouse, okay? Absolutely beautiful. I do wear this without any pants or my boots or anything, okay? Let me tell you this. My boss just called me, and she said since I decided I didn't want to work this weekend, because mind you, I've worked 80 hours a week now for the last 9 weeks. I'm an accountant. They decided they were going to fire me today. They said I look like I want to spend more time on TikTok showing clothes and having fun than I could not take my job serious, okay? Couldn't take my job serious. So you know what? I'm going to elevate the fuck out of this TikTok, and the corporate world can kiss my ass. I am done busting my ass for other people. I'm going to bust my ass for myself. So you know what? Your girl loves the blouse. Hell yes, I do. I love it with my boots. I love it with nothing on at all. And fuck that job. That's how I feel today.
This is a PSA to not post day in the life, get ready with me, come to work with me when you are really working. I don't care how much you blur it out, there's always going to be a slip up. If you guys know, I post content on here, Instagram, LinkedIn all the time. I have just as many followers on my other platforms as I do on here. So all I do is post content, come work with me, things like that. But I posted a video on here that got me fired. And like many other people, you want to advocate, say, hey, this is what a day in the life of a logistical analyst, procurement, whatever, right? You want to show people ask like, hey, what do you do in your day-to-day while you're working, to see if your career is something that they want to develop in. And like this video, it was really no different than my other content, except I kind of dived a little bit deeper and obviously too deep, right? So let's get into it. So this particular video, and it might still be on my page on TikTok. I know it's not obviously on my Instagram anymore, and that's where I got caught. But this video was a particular day in the life of me greeting my employees, going through my workload, showing my phone, my work phone, and things like that. Literally knew all about the content, blurring it out, not zooming in, staying very far from the screen, right? But there was a slip up in my video. And honestly, the slip up was so much discreetful that I really did not even get called in about this until a month later. That's how like minimal this situation was and how oblivious I was. Like, what? When it kind of got brought to me, I was like, when did I even post this? Because I post content so much that I didn't even realize, right? But long story short, I posted a video. There was a piece in it about showing what customers put in as far as their conversations, and that part I did not blur out. It was too much of a risk analysis if somebody really wanted to go ahead and crack the code of like who this customer was, what was going on, where do they live, right? And the company brought it to my attention. Somebody previously had did a day in a life situation and they had to let them go. My video was, when I say 99% like being like closed lip, you didn't even know the company that I was talking about or the project that I was working on. But that one little slip up cost me my job. And as sorrowful as I was, it was nothing that I could do. They were very nice. I was a great employee. They actually gave me a referral and a recommendation for my current role because it was a very unfortunate. We did it before. We had to do it again for you. Like we could not, show favoritism type of thing. But this goes to show you, no matter how good you do your job, keep your job to yourself. You can tell your people, your friends at a happy hour, like, oh, I did this. Don't bring that shit to TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Don't talk about your employees. Don't talk about nothing. Keep it on the low. Even on LinkedIn. If you don't want to post every time you get a new role on LinkedIn, who cares? You don't need to, right? Keep it very discreet. Because I wish I did.
I've never been fired in my life. I was fired from my last job because of my TikTok shop. I need your help. So tag any big creators that you know that might share this post and help me get some more followers. And when I hit 5,000 followers, I am going to spill the tea on how I got fired from my last job. I needed to replace my income, hence why I picked up the part-time job, because I lost my full-time income when my direct sales business closed in December. I was making $70K a year for about 12 years, and that was taken away from me. Hence why I picked up part-time job, and they loved me there, and then all of a sudden they found out I had a TikTok shop and they fired me. Bonkers. So tag a big creator, share this post, follow me, please. When I hit 5,000, I'm going to give you all the tea. Piping hot.
This is a message for my bum-ass co-workers that watched my TikToks. Hey, bitches, I know you're watching my TikToks. I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to a job fair today. But also, I went to a store that I applied to today, and I spoke to the hiring manager, and he said that he wasn't even looking at applications until next week. And I sent him my resume through email, and he said that he was going to call me back. And then last Friday, I went to another store, same chain, and spoke to the hiring manager, and said that he was going to call me back for an interview. So I secured 2 interviews, and I'm going to a job fair. So I'm looking for another part-time job that pays better than what the fuck that company fucking paid me. And I hope that bitch that fired me can hire a new assistant that did half the shit I did.
Y'all better be careful out here. They out here fine. Y'all better be careful about posting goddamn videos at your job doing TikTok dance. I know y'all want to do your little TikTok dances, your little TikTok and get a happy time, fun time. But don't you know your job is watching you? They watching you. They watching every little thing that you doing. Yeah, they'll fire your ass for goddamn doing TikTok videos at the goddamn job. Fuck all that. I'm still gonna make TikTok videos at my goddamn job. I got many jobs. I'm a plumber. I'm a construction worker. I move furniture. Hell, I even do goddamn landscaping. I'm the man of many goddamn talents. You can't fire me. You can't fire goddamn me. I'm gonna make all the goddamn TikTok videos and talk bad about the goddamn boss if he giving me trouble. I don't give a fuck. What they gonna do, fire me? Go ahead. I got many goddamn jobs. You can't fire me. You can't fire me. I'm always gonna have a job. How many people you know that I got multiple jobs? One moment you see him with a construction job, the next moment you see him working over here, working over there. That's me. I'm him. But for all those of y'all who only got one job, y'all can't afford to be getting fired from that one job. Y'all better not be making these TikTok videos at your job. You better stay safe.
I want to tell y'all this joke that I will never, ever forget, because I learned it. I thought it was the funniest joke in high school, that I put it in my Instagram bio, and I got fired from a job for it. Still classic. So it's not really a joke. I mean, it's a joke, but it's more of a saying. So let me tell you the story, okay? The story is, I was working at a clothing store. I was doing like the modeling for like the pictures. They take pictures of me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so little old me, little 18-year-old me maybe, had this in my bio. And my boss calls me into work, and she's like, do you have something you want to tell me? I'm like, I don't think so. and she pulled up my Instagram, and it was my bio and the screenshot of it. And I was like, yeah. And I'm not really putting two and two together, like, yet. And she's like, what does that say in your bio? Made me say it out loud. I'm 18, so I'm super, like, I'm very immature at this age. So I'm laughing while I'm telling the joke. The joke was, I hate gay jokes, ... but fuck it. Yeah, how are you gonna even be mad at me for that one, though? It's very clever and it's very funny. But I guess I got reported by the brand, like people shopping at our clothing store. So I was no longer able to model for them. But I thought you guys would enjoy that.
And I'm saying all this just to let y'all know that this is not an actual Chick-fil-A. It's a Chick-fil-A.
All right, done. I'm done. I can't listen to this guy twist. But here's another problem, and it's not just a black thing. And we'll get to the astronaut because this is an example of a good black man. We'll get to the astronaut in a second. It's the tale of two worlds, man. But here's another thing, man. Young people today are like, I don't know who raising these kids. The entitlement and the lack of pursuit of excellence is crazy to me. I feel like when my dad and them were young and they used to have to bust tables, and if my dad was working at Chick-fil-A, they would be professional. They would honor the fact that they had a job, and they would want to do a good job and represent very well. These young people are so entitled that they think that you owe them to just show up at a job. Like they need a pat on the back because they showed up at a job and ring up somebody at the cash register without fighting or twerking. What? Like, y'all need to raise your kids better. You raise your kids better. Raise them with standards. Because what is going to happen is that there's a wave of people who are raising their kids right, and they are going to be astronauts and doctors, lawyers. They're going to play sports and turn that sport into some global empire. They're going to be killing it. And your kids are going to be working for somebody, or they're going to be sitting at home because a robot is going to do their job. Raise your children right. That's why I raise my sons right. I try to, right? At least, you know, let me not say that. So you raise your kids right. Make sure when they're growing up that you teach them lessons that you know they're going to need. You know, raising your kid, and if you give them a little bit of grit and you take away that entitlement, they will kill it. Your kids.
Guys, I got fired yesterday. So I wasn't actually going to talk about this, but I really just like don't care anymore. I'm just gonna give you a quick little story time on what the fuck happened. Basically, if you don't know, I was a server at Olive Garden. I worked there for like 9 months. I absolutely loved my job. I said it on here all the time that I loved working there. I looked forward to going into work. Everybody knows that I loved my job, and it was like genuinely the best job that I've had. Basically, I walk into work yesterday and I'm thinking it's gonna be a normal day. I was scheduled to close that day, so I was gonna be there for like 5 hours. I get talked to by the manager, and then she goes, oh, like, can you like come talk to me like over here? And I was like, sure. Mind you, this is my first day back since spring break, so I haven't worked in over a week, so I thought she was just gonna give me like a little bit of a rundown. Basically, she sits me down and she goes, do you post on social media? And I was like, yeah, I do. And she's like, do you post about Olive Garden ever? And I was like, I mean, I have, like, I do server blogs sometimes. Literally thinking nothing of it. And then she asks me if I've ever recorded inside the restaurant, and I was just like, yeah, like, it's a public space, like, yeah, I have. She's sitting there telling me that she's seen my server rants and me talking about the customers and the fact that I make no money and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, okay, like, fuck that gotta do with me. I don't really understand. She's just sitting there telling me that it's super against policy to talk about the customers and record inside the restaurant. And I totally get that. I was being super professional about it. I was just like, yeah, I understand like why I'm in the wrong. I just didn't think too much of it because I see server rants all the time. Like thousands and thousands of people post server rants all the time. Like, didn't think I would get fucking fired for it. She hands me this piece of paper and it was a bunch of questions and I have to answer them and then hand it to corporate and then see if corporate will like take me back as a server. As I'm like filling these questions out, she was like, it's honestly not looking good though because like I did do like all the wrong things. Meanwhile, my wrong things were recording inside the restaurant, talking about the customers and like posting about it and yeah, I guess, I don't know. But basically she said it wasn't looking good, so she hands me this resign form to say like that I can resign from it, so it doesn't say like I got fired, you know? So I was like, yeah, I'll just resign. Like, it's a teenage job, it's really not that deep. I did indeed cry when I was signing it because I love my job and like obviously didn't want to leave. Now it's the fact that I am actually unemployed. That's a very scary thought because I have not been unemployed since I was like 15 years old. But it's also the fact that it just caught me so off guard. Like, I literally walked in with my apron on, ready to work, and then I walked out 30 minutes later bawling. I'm just trying to think of it as like a blessing in disguise. Maybe I'll make more money at my other job. Maybe I'll like meet my new friends. If you are a server, this is your sign to not post server rants or you talking badly about any customers, or like don't post anything about your job because this is where it got me. If you guys just want to like follow me, comment down below, share my post so then I don't have to work again, that would be amazing. But meanwhile, I need to clock the fuck in and start making bank.
I lost my job over a TikTok that I posted yesterday. I wanted to make this video for hours, but I'm trying to go about this in the best way physically possible, okay? My account on here is literally my outlet. This is where I talk to you guys, I decompress, I tell you how I'm feeling, like, and that's what you follow me for. So yesterday, I was having a really rough day at work, and I made a video talking about I was having a really stressful day at work. I was telling you guys about an interaction that happened, and someone sent the video to the owner of my restaurant, and he called me horrible names. So I decided to leave. I made the decision for my mental health that it was time to leave the restaurant, because he was probably going to fire me anyway. He didn't though. I quit before he could. But if you ever have someone that is so degrading and rude to you, my biggest advice to you, like, have respect for yourself, okay? Have respect for who you are, what you have, like, your work ethic, okay? Like, again, I am one of the hardest workers I've ever met. I have worked for every single thing I have in my entire life. I have bought myself many cars. I moved out at 18. I pay rent at 24. I have a car. I pay for everything on my own. And so for one little incident to literally spiral into such a snowball after I literally busted my butt for that restaurant for 4 years, it really sucks, okay? I still haven't really, like, completely, like, took in. So I decided, you know, if my work and hard work doesn't mean anything to the restaurant that I'm working at, they don't deserve me. So my advice to you is that if you are going through the same thing, leave. They don't deserve you, and they don't deserve you. They're not allowed to degrade you and say mean names and say you're not allowed to post on social media and you have to apologize to all your people on your account. You don't have to. And I'm not saying this to crap on the restaurant that I worked at. I'm simply saying this out of how I feel. I don't take back what I said in the video. I stand with what I said. I don't think I did not say the name of the business. I did not say the name of the owner. I had nothing on that showed where I work. It was solely me ranting to you guys like I do every single day. And yes, do I see why he's upset? Yeah, I hurt his personal feelings. That's what it is. Because again, I have posted on here many times about my really, like, at work story times. I've posted so many of them and it's never been an issue. So I did it again yesterday thinking nothing of it, and then I get a text and my phone is being blown up, and so I've just had a really rough 12 hours, and so now I am looking for other jobs. I just want you to know you need to have more respect for yourself than to let your boss, whoever, degrade you, call you names, call you stupid. Just so you know, you deserve so much better and you don't need to put up with it. So yeah, it's a little update for you guys. It sucks. It really sucks. I worked at that restaurant for 4 years, and for it to just be thrown away over a video about literally ranting, and then being told you can't post on social media. Yeah, it fucking sucks. It literally sucks. All my customers, I'm gonna miss them dearly. I'm just baffled. I don't really have words, so that's why I wasn't as active I just don't have words. And I am on a job hunt. So if you're in Maine and you need an assistant, anything, please reach out to me because I really need a job. I literally don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, but everything happens for a reason. That's what I'm telling myself. I didn't do anything wrong. I can see why he's upset, I guess, but also freedom of speech. I'm not on the clock. I didn't say anything bad about the business. I didn't say anything bad about the business. Like, so yeah, just wanted to give you guys a little update, but I'm indeed jobless. So don't let someone talk shit about you on you. Don't let them call your coworkers and literally degrade you. Don't let them degrade you to your face. You deserve more, and a restaurant job is not worth it. Okay? That's it, you guys. I will keep you updated on my job hunt. I love you.
2 nurses posted on TikTok. One lost their job. One reportedly lost their license. This isn't about limiting your voice. It's about understanding that once a post goes viral, you no longer control the narrative. You can be off duty and still lose your license. If you identify as a nurse online, you represent the profession, whether you intend to or not. Employers care about reputation. Boards care about public trust. Burnout is real. Frustration is real. But posting emotionally in the moment can have consequences you didn't anticipate.
Okay, so here's how I would love to see it happen. I don't think that this should be a health event. That's not tragic enough. I think it should be an infliction like he has done to others in the United States and around the world. From a distance, publicly, while maybe he's on stage at a rally or a press conference or whatever the case may be, something, don't care, publicly, and televised. Because I think in a situation like this, there won't be very many people crying. In fact, I think the majority will be cheering.
So that was a woman named Kathy DeFilippo Kiley, and she's an administrator at Huron Superior Catholic Schools. And now, Kathy has been fired. And Kathy has no one to blame but herself. Because as it turns out, despite Democrats' best efforts, we do have some moral boundaries in this country. And people don't want a soulless, demonic human being working with children whose favorite pastime is going home in the evenings and fantasizing about the slow and painful death of people she doesn't like. I have a feeling it won't be long before Kathy ends up where she should be, which is in a padded cell, in a straitjacket, with drool running down her cheek.
Story time about how I just got fired from my job this week for making a TikTok. So last week I worked on New Year's Day, and that was the last time I worked. New Year's Eve day. And that night I got a call and I was asked to explain Christmas Day, which I made a TikTok with 2 other girls that I worked with. And so I admitted that, it was my idea. I picked the TikTok. And then they were, asking me, did everyone know you were going to post it? And of course, you don't really make a TikTok not to post it, right? So, they said, we'll figure it out by Friday. We'll call you and let you know. And I was like, okay, if you're going to be fired or if you're not going to be fired. And I'm like, okay, cool. So they asked me to take everything down. I took anything down that was in the operating room. I did like some day in the lives and, never showing any indication of where I worked or anything like that. But, like they said, it could be traced back. So I text one of them Friday, one of my managers, and they're like, well, you can come talk to us on Monday. And I'm like, okay. So I go in on Monday and, after all weekend of like stressing, and I'm pretty sure their mind was already made up on what they were going to do, but they, handed me my papers. They terminated me. Went and got my stuff out of my locker. nothing happened to the other two girls, which I'm glad, because I didn't want either one of them to be, you know, fired. I'll just, you know, I can be fine. I'm fine. But moral of the story is, don't post TikToks at work. And the TikTok that I posted was like a viral OR TikTok that I looked at. It was like Deductible December. Looked it up. And it was like the same song, the same words over and over again, you know. So, but it's like our parents always used to tell us, just because somebody else does it doesn't mean you need to do it. So I've learned my lesson, and hopefully somebody else will hire me as a surgical tech. I have 5 years of experience in ortho and neuro. Help a sister